I love what I do. I love supporting women. I love helping. I've helped so many women that turn their back on me, and I'm like, it's okay, because God is still going to continue to bless me.
Yes.
Welcome to the Beauty and You podcast, a safe place created for all women to come relax. Join us as we dive into the true meaning of rediscovery through inspiring guests and topics such as healing, self-love, and creating a positive mindset. So sit back, relax, and get comfortable as we dive into this week's episode. Here's your host, Chi Quita Mack.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Beauty and You podcast. I am really, really excited for this episode. My girl just came from my hometown, Georgia. ATL is in the house today. I cannot wait for you to meet her, get to know her, hear her story, because it's only going to inspire and empower you. Dr. Charles, welcome to the Beauty and You podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am so blessed to be here today. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. I literally feel like I've known you forever.
I know, right?
I am just like, I just have so much respect and love. And I'm so invested in your journey. I'm like, girl, we stuck together. Yeah. We're stuck together.
Yeah.
Before we dive into all the things,
Yes.
I want you to just introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Dr. Tamara Charles. I am a best-selling author of two books called, one is Unbroken, Still I Smile, and the second one is Unbroken, a Multiple Sclerosis Warrior. I am the founder of Sisters in Charge. It's a nonprofit organization for domestic violence victims and survivors. And I am in the process of launching my coaching business called the Unbroken Academy. And I also am the owner of Charged Up Salon and Spa. I'm also licensed esthetician. So I do body sculpting, facials, dermaplaning. So I'm all over the place, but blessed to be a blessing to make other women feel beautiful about themselves and uplift other women. That needs that push, that needs that sisterhood. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. You are not all over the place. You are living in your light.
Yes.
And you're doing what God has called you to do,
Yes.
which is to make other women feel beautiful and empowered despite of what they may have gone through.
Yeah.
So let's take it back a little bit and talk about, some of the organizations that you have, domestic violence and things like that. Let's talk about what led you to create an environment like this for women.
Well, I am a survivor myself of domestic violence, and I am a sexual assault survivor, now living with multiple sclerosis. It's been 10 years, going on 11 years this year in August. I know what it's like to have gone through domestic violence and sexual assault, which I experienced sexual assault at the age of 6 years old back in my country in Haiti. And when I came to America, I was that rebellious child. Like, I was just like all over the place. I was just so broken, so hurt, like, because my parents didn't know what I had gone through when I was in Haiti, because they came to America to come work and save money to come, to send for me and my siblings. And during that time, it was supposed to be a friend of the family helping out with us, and he was just doing things that he wasn't supposed to do, and that made me grew up. Where I was just mad at the world, like, and all I can remember him saying, "Don't tell nobody," So it repeatedly in my mind, like I couldn't, tell anybody. And when I came to America, I was just like so mad at my parents, and because I felt like, I remember my dad, before he came to America, he was the one that would take me to school. He would make sure like nobody sit next to me on the bus, you know what I'm saying, on the taxi or the bus, wherever however he got me to school. He was my protector. And when that happened to me and I came, I felt like, he should have been there with me because he was my protector, you know. But I wrote my book when I was 39 years old, called Unbroken Still I Smile. And that's when I open up and talk about my experience with sexual assault at the tender age of 6 years old and experiencing 3 domestic violence relationships. And, you know, people ask, you know, 3. I was that broken child, broken adolescent. I didn't know no better. I didn't know how it felt to be loved. You know,
Right.
I was loved by my dad, but because of what I had went through during 6 years old, I was so angry at my dad. So it's like our relationship had broken for a while because I felt like he wasn't, he wasn't there to save me. But that book just helped me to forgive, and it made me whole again because it was something that lifted on my shoulder, like I've been carrying for so many years, and that I didn't know how to talk about it. I was just like, I was a broken child, and that chapter of my life, writing that book, was like my healing process.
Yes.
It just something lifted, and I was like, God, I needed that. And I started to go to different, organization. People started to hire me to go talk about my experience. I went to the Essence Festival 3 years in a row. I sold out at their bookstore. And to see young girls and, older women heard about my book and how it, some of them was like, it healed them, and people went through what I went through, So when I felt like I was by myself, I was the only one that went through it. There was other women that went through worse things that I had went through, but you don't know how you're saving somebody else without talking about it, without sharing your story. And I feel like my story was so needed, and because it helped it helped a lot of women, and it helped me become who I am today. And it wasn't an easy process,
Of course
but
not. No.
I'm glad that I went through what I went through to be where I am today.
Yeah, I think that is where we have similarities, not with the same exact experience, but with going through the trauma and something traumatic that has or tried to break us.
Yeah.
And now coming back around and utilizing what we went through, the pain, the depression, the anxiety, the shame. I remember just being so ashamed of what I was experiencing. And I was actually too shameful to talk about it because then I felt that everyone would judge me for everything that I'm going through. But taking that and that experience and now saying we're going to help other women who have gone through what we've gone through. We're going to utilize everything that we went through in a way that we can benefit other women.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do. Your book, I when you say your book was part of your healing journey, this book, that's my healing journey.
Yeah.
This was literally a composition notebook of what I was going, girl, oh my God. And I was afraid to put it out.
Me too.
I'm like, oh my God, people are going to judge me.
Yeah.
I was so afraid to start the Chi Quita Mack and start talking about healing and depression and anxiety and therapy and all the things that we ain't supposed to talk about as black women.
African American.
Yeah, African American women. We're not supposed to talk about these things.
Yeah.
But it changed so many lives. And so I'm thankful for you and being brave enough to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
To do that. I want to talk about the ability to have self-love and what does that mean for myself. I had 0. I will tell you, as I was going through all of my trauma, I felt like I did something to deserve it.
Yeah.
And I did not understand my worth. So talk to me a little bit about your journey with self-love.
I mean, I can understand you not knowing your and understanding your self-love. I went through that phase too. I would just, I felt at one point I would just accept relationships. I would settle, if you understand what I'm saying, because
I know
I
exactly what
wanted
you're
to be
saying.
loved, but I was being loved by the wrong men in my life. And broken men too at that, because I felt like I can relate. But when I got to a certain point, I felt like I can save them because I saved myself. And I was like, I would think, I'm like, okay, I can save them. I can. It was like I was more like a nurture mother to them, because I know what it's like to have gone, through trauma, and so I was relatable to their trauma. So I look, like I look for those type of men. I'm not gonna say I look for those type of men. Those are the type of men I was, attracted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got to a point in my life now, like I wouldn't accept nothing less because I deserved the world. If you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I've been through so much. I've gone through. I had to, put myself into therapy because point in my life I went through major depression. I had to learn how to heal all over again because I didn't want to bring my trauma into my next relationship. So, a lot of African American people think like going to therapy is a bad thing. It's not. It really helped me. Like every time I feel like I was gonna break, I would call my therapist. I'm like, can we do another session? Can we get back to our sessions? Because it really helped me mentally.
Yes.
I've suffered from anxiety, and she will give me different technique how to cope with my anxiety, and it helps because you never want to bring your trauma to something new, and at one point I was really broken because I didn't love myself. Like I said, I looked for love in all the wrong places, but those weren't love because they didn't treat me how I should be treated, how I needed to be treated.
Yes.
Because they were also broken themselves. But the difference between me and them, I've taken the step to go through therapy. I saw psychiatrists, because there was one time I wanted to kill myself, So I've experienced all those things. But I've also was able to get help.
Yeah.
And it really helped me. It really helped me even till today. I have a therapist that I see every 2 weeks, and
We need it.
I need it. I still need it till this day. So I tell people, don't be ashamed to say, that you need that help. You need that that one-on-one therapy, because you don't know how it can help you.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with getting the help. Self-love comes first. You got to love yourself before you can love somebody else.
Yep.
What you bring out is what you're going to receive. If you don't love yourself, how can you expect somebody else to love you?
And also teach them how to
love you.
Yeah. If you have no idea,
Yes.
how can you do that? And I want to pause on the therapy part. Like,
Yeah.
yes, that is the message is I want to put out. Like, you guys see me and you see Dr. Charles here, very successful women. And we're literally saying, go to therapy, get the help you need, address those issues. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
In order for us to remain successful and on the trajectory that we're going, we have to take care of ourselves and heal.
Yeah.
We have to do the work. And so there's nothing wrong with having a therapist on standby.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
true.
text and call and say,
Yeah.
today was a day I need to get this out. I can no longer suppress those feelings. Because at one point, that's why my depression got really, really bad, is I was just taking it and I was just pushing it down.
I wasn't doing nothing to. Yeah.
So I'm not supposed to. Like, we're not supposed to be talking about our business to other people. Like, you're crazy, right? That whole, you know what I'm saying.
And it's so funny that you say that because society, especially African American, I've reached out to like my significant other in the past where expressing my concern, what I'm seeing, because I live with with this person or with
Right.
that person. So if I'm reaching out to the parents, but then you have to understand some parents wasn't there to raise their child the way they needed to be raised. You know what I'm saying? So reaching out to to family members, trying to get help, trying to see if they can do therapy. That's not talking about your business. That's not talking about the business. It's reaching out to get help.
Yeah.
And I have done that, and turn around like I'm putting my business out there. No, I'm reaching out for help to help you. I'm like, if I can't do it by myself, it takes a village.
Yes.
If I see something is not right with you, and I'm the one that's living with you, if I'm reaching out to your parents to, to express my concern, listen to me, because you guys don't live with that person. I see. I'm there. So it's like that in in the Black community, and not to tell you, not to tell the business, but for me, it's never been about me telling my business. It's reaching out for help, because what I see, you guys, they don't see.
Yep.
They don't see.
And I think that's important too. It's like, you're right. We're living it each and every day. So those things that we're dealing with, the incidences that we're dealing with, the arguments and the verbal abuse, I will say, from experience, right, that we deal with, we're asking for help because we need it. Like, there comes a point to where we can only do so much.
Yeah.
Or we're going to therapy together and it's still not working. Like, it only works at the office.
Yeah.
But when we get back home, it's like,
Something. Yeah.
did we not just
Yeah.
spend
Yeah.
an hour and a
Yeah.
half up in here, right? So I agree. It's like, we're asking for help because we need the help, and it's not telling your business. And what I do like about this time period, I would say, is that mental health is talked about a lot more now.
Yeah.
It still may not be accepted by our community,
Yeah.
but at least we're talking about it a little bit more. We have to talk about these things. We have to talk about how to take care of ourselves. We have to get on somebody's couch. Like, I really don't care about the stigma.
Yeah,
We have to
yeah.
break it, and it's our job to bring awareness to that. But yeah, if we're out here asking for help, we're doing just that. We're
Yeah,
asking for
for help.
help because we have used all of our means at this point.
Yeah.
And so my thought process is like, well, you're the family, so you have to be able to reach them in a different way that I can. So I absolutely understand what you're saying.
But you have to understand too, some family members, if they, some parents, if they wasn't there in their child or children's lives, how can they be there as an adult to them now? You know what I'm saying? To them now. They didn't have that role model, I thank God every day, even going through what I went through as a child, I've always had my parents there for me, even till this day. Like, my parents don't play about me, and I don't play about my
Love
parents.
it.
And but I went through that healing process to realize, like, those are my parents. They're gonna ride. They'll die
Ride
for
and
me.
die.
They'll die not just for me, for their children, for my siblings, and for their grandchildren. Because I have children, and without my parents, I don't know where I would be today. Because I was a single mom. I have a set of twins. They're 29 years old, and I have a 22-year-old and a 20-year-old. And I could not have done it, going to school and getting my degrees and being where I am today if it wasn't for my parents, So, but then you have to understand, some parents, different cultures, it's different. I'm from Haiti. Our culture is so different, and we believe in family oriented. Like, we close. We take each other. If my brother or my sister did something, my parents are gonna say, okay, brush it off. They're gonna make sure they take accountability for their actions.
Right.
I've had exes, their parents just like, it's okay. The family members just like it's okay. Like, and I'm like, how
do you see this being
you
okay? Yeah, that's
make it seem like you're the problem.
Yeah.
But in reality, they don't know what
like
I was going through behind closed door.
That part.
Like I literally saved saved them from, and it's like, when I'm reaching out for help, it's like, I'm talking about that. No, I'm trying. Can I get some help? Can I get some assistance? Can you step up and help us? Like, but my parents, they're so different. Like, they're going to make sure, we work things out, or they are, my parents are, my mom, she's my therapist, like my dad is my protector, till this day, I'm just blessed overall to have them still, and to, they have instilled that moral, that value, that family oriented, in me, and that's all I know. So when you say, you reaching out to family members to get help, for your significant other, that's not, I don't believe that's talking bad. That's reaching out because you see something good in that person that can
be fixed.
Be fixed. Yeah, I want to say be fixed, but can get help. Yeah.
Assisted, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, come join me this September 12th at the Westin at the National Harbor for the From Breakthrough to the Bank brunch. Get your tickets down below. One thing when you said my parents don't play about me, I'm like, you know what? You're so right. Because I remember when I was in my deep state of depression, I literally called my mom. I was like, Mom, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
This is what happened. Mom's in Florida, by the way. I was like, I need you here.
Yeah.
And she literally clocked out of work and went to the airport. And she was here by the end of the night.
Yeah.
That quick. And she's like, what we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I didn't have my mom during my healing process, I don't know what I would have done. Like, she was just like, and she stayed here for a while, like literally called her job and was like, Kita needs me. So, you guys got it. And they're like, absolutely. And they understood. But that community, that family aspect was what I needed for my healing journey.
Yeah.
Now, there's people listening that may not necessarily have that family and community that we had during our process of our healing journey. What advice would you give to them?
Just because they don't have that community or that family love or that family support, but I'm sure there's that one person that you feel that you can trust. There's nothing wrong with reaching to that one person. That one person can probably save you from committing suicide or harming yourself. For me, even though I had my parents, but I had always had like two women in my life, till this day, that if I said I felt like I'm gonna, I'm not saying I'm gonna kill myself, but there was days in my, there was moments in my life that I'm like, hey, I'm not doing well. I'm not feeling well. I'm like, I just feel like I'm gonna hurt myself. They would sit on the phone with me, pray with me. And when I tell you pray, they women of God, they would pray with me. And after that prayer, like, I was like, oh my God, I felt like myself again. I felt like God was talking to me too. Like, I wasn't just praying with her, but God was in that prayer with us. Yes. So, I tell my women, even men too, men go through, trauma. There's nothing wrong with reaching to, even if it's a close friend or a stranger that you may feel like, okay, they're not going to go back and tell you, your business. Because sometimes you can meet a person, you may know them for like, a week or two, but that connection is there. You can feel that connection. You can feel like, okay, you can go to that person and ask for that help, without being judged. And that's a lot of things, with society. Like, they're afraid of getting, asking for the help because they don't know if that person is going to talk or spread their business. And it's understandable
Right.
because it do happened, but just, pick your battles, pick, it don't got to be the whole world you reaching out to, but that one person you feel that you can, reach out to and say, can I talk to you? This is what I'm going through. Do you have any, suggestion? Do you have any feedback? Anything, because you don't know if that person can get you the help that you need and help support you to get to where you need to be,
Right.
so you can get better. Just continue to, continue to love love yourself, and reach out for help, because you don't know what type of help you can get out there.
I agree.
Like they say, a closed mouth don't get fed. It
Yeah.
don't get fed if you don't ask. I used to be like that. Like, I was so isolated at one point in my life. Like, I didn't know how to. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to tell people my business. Or now, as I became an author, a public figure, like, I don't mind sharing my story, because my story, I know, is gonna. If I have 50 person in that room, I know my story is gonna save one person,
That's it.
and it only takes that one person.
Yep.
And it happened to me, it happened for me before, where I was speaking, and this young lady, I would never forget her, and we're still close to this day.
Oh.
And she told me, after I finished speaking, she told me, like, you just saved me. Like, do you know how grateful and blessed to hear her say that to me? Because I didn't have that growing up, I didn't have anybody that I looked up to where I can say, okay, my mom was there, but like my parents, they old fashioned, they're, they have that value and stuff, but they're from a different culture. Like I grew up in America, I came here when I was 7 years old. So they were still learning English, so they didn't know the American culture yet.
Right.
So, but I love what I do. I love supporting women. I love helping. I've helped so many women that turn their back on me, and I'm like, it's okay, because God is still going to continue to bless me.
Yes. It's
And
like
I love that, because girlfriend, I smile. When I tell you I smile, they talk about me. I'm like, I don't care. I said, my life is still going to go on, but I know what I did. I helped you at one point in your life, and I don't got to tell the world what I did, but you know what I did. God know what I did.
Absolutely.
So I believe in women's, empowering, supporting one another, but
We have a few onesies
you
and
got a
twosies
few
out
ones you
there.
gotta like,
It's okay.
but it's okay.
It's okay. We just let them stay. We good.
You can
We
love them from
good.
afar.
I see you though.
I see
but
you.
It's good.
We see each other, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. One thing I want to talk about, because I hear it as you're telling your story and I can relate to it in my story, was the spiritual part
Yeah.
of our journeys. I talked to God so much, he probably said, Keita, girl, stop. I hear you. I know. But it was very important
Yeah.
that I leaned into him. I lean into him all the time. I talk to him all the
Yeah.
time. But at that moment, I remember like laying in my bed saying like God, I don't have the strength right now to make it through the day, but I have to lean on yours.
Yeah.
Like I remember like asking for I need to lean on you. I know there's a light somewhere. I'm going to trust you, and just really, really leaning. If I did not have my connection with God, I wouldn't be sitting here being able to have this conversation with you. It was such a huge part of that. Can you talk to us a little bit about your spiritual journey and how that's led you?
Oh, like you said, I would. For me, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. For those who don't believe in God, who say God is not real, God is so real. When I tell you God is so real, I can tell you I can sit here for days and talk about the stuff that I have gone through. And I didn't, there was time I'm like, God, like, you really going to let this happen? But God doesn't give us anything that we can't handle. We may not see why he's letting it happen, but at the end of the tunnel, when when you see the light, you be like, this is why he did it. Like, we may not understand while it's happening, but eventually, it comes to light. And my broken moments, my broken days, like, I would get in my car. Like, there was moments I would just, in the middle of the night, waking up, jumping out of my sleep. And I didn't want my daughter, the kids to know that I'm going through. I just would go in my car and I would just sit there and scream and yell. Like, I would drive into a plaza, like, and just like, God, why me? Like, just talking to him, and he really helped me. He really helped me, I didn't see the help while it was happening, but eventually now I'm like, in a period of my life, I'm like, this is why he made me go through what I went through to get to where I am today. He loved me. God loves me enough to be like, you know what? This is not for you. This situation wasn't for you, or this job wasn't for you, this is your calling, being, empowering other women, sharing your story, being the voice for the voiceless. And God is real.
Yes.
And I'm a living testimony that he's real. He's very powerful. Like, I grew up with my family. They're very, like, church women, like, all of them. I have cousins, like, even till this day, if I'm having a moment, I'm like, can you, 4:00 in the morning or 5? They know if I call, they know it's serious. And they will pray they will pray before we get off the phone. And that's my family, like. And I'm blessed to have women like that in my family. When I was younger, I didn't know how to talk to them, how to reach to them, because I was scared. I didn't want them to judge me. But as I got older and I wrote my books, and they seen this is my calling, and I got close with them. I got close with God because before I get off that phone, they're gonna make sure they pray, and I be feeling their prayers. Like, I'll be like, I needed that, God, like. It's a different feeling when like, that prayer is, like, in you. You feeling it, like, it's like you're having the Holy Ghost with the phone without having the Holy Ghost. Like,
I know that feeling.
But
God is good.
I'm going to continue to walk in his, walk wherever he leads me. That's where I'm going to be. I'm not going to question him. I'm not going to ask him why, because he never fails us, He doesn't.
He doesn't.
So
what I will say is that God does not make any mistakes. We're connected for a reason. And I can't put my finger on all of it yet. But it's going to come together, because from the moment we talked that night, it was like
30-minute went.
Girl, we were there for a while, but it wasn't just the time, because I didn't even pay attention. Like, oh my God, I got another call. I gotta get off of here. It was just the connection.
Yeah.
And I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can text me anytime,
And
and
you
I
said
will
that from day one.
stop. And I told you that night. I said, "Listen, I don't even normally do this, but girl, I'm gonna give you my number.
Here's my cell number.
Call me and text me, and I got you.
Yeah.
And I still mean it. I am called to you for a reason,
And you are.
God has put us here, and we're gonna continue to grow together. He makes no mistakes. I believe in him. So you stuck with me, whether you like it or not, girl.
You stuck with me too. I'm here.
We're gonna figure this out.
The support is mutual.
We're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure it out. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of the journey that you're on, what you've gone through, and how you continue to stand.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. And I want you to be proud of that too.
Yes.
And look at your journey, all of it, from beginning to this point now. Even from when we talked a few months ago till now, I see change.
Yeah.
So I need you to keep
Yeah.
on that change,
Change.
okay? Like, I see a difference that
Yeah.
quickly. And
I feel better.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like a whole new person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm glowing now. I'm happy. I'm like getting up. I'm like, I want to get dressed.
Yes.
I want to do my makeup. I have a makeup line. I'm like, I need to get back to promoting my
Give me
business.
some products so I can promote it on my page, girl. Yes, let's do
It's when you go through so much, you get to a point in your life like you don't want to accept nothing less. You know, I know my worth. If I didn't know my worth back then, years ago, I know my worth now, and I deserve the best of the best. I deserve the world. I deserve to be loved, and I deserve to, to help other women from going through what I went through, you know what I'm saying, in my past. And this is why I'm here I'm here today. I'm like, I want to support you. I want to love on you. And that's the thing. Us women, like, we're so scared of, oh, she might get ahead or she. No.
so crazy.
What's meant for you is going to be for you. What's
Yep.
meant for me is going to be for me. Like, what is, I can't do jealousy. Like, sometimes I be needing advice or help. I'm like, I see this person, I'm like, I'd be scared to reach out because I'm like, oh, they're probably gonna think like I'm just.
Girl, you
No.
can call me. I got you.
No, I know you do, but I
But
just
I
feel like,
understand that.
but it's not about that because there's resources that I have. People reached out to me, and I'm like, here. I don't even ask no questions. Why here? But it's like, there was one time I reached, like, really? Like,
We're telling
and
the
I
same
reached out I've done so many for that person. It's like, but I just say, we got to do better. Like, we better as a whole than apart. We have to start loving on each other, start supporting. Like, we would be so far right now if we support each other and love on one another and just and be there. There's nothing wrong with being there for the next Black queen. Life is short.
It is.
Life is short. We can be here today and tomorrow we're gone, and you don't know what that person might have, what I'm saying, done for you in your life. Like, I'd be like, damn, she was there for me, or, she helped me. That's why I said when people reach out, I don't ask no question. I do it. Like, I'm a loving person and I love hard. If you're in my circle, like, I'm riding with you. No, you don't got to question my loyalty, But when you show me this, you being disloyal, I'm gonna, what I'm saying,
Pause.
I'm gonna pause and I'm cutting you off because I believe if I'm giving you the same love, I deserve the same love in return. It goes both ways. And 2026, we need to do better. Like, there's so many opportunities out there for all of us.
Yeah.
Not to, come together and be there for one another. So
Yeah.
I'm all about women empowering. I love my sisters, I love seeing, especially African American Black queens doing so well. Like, that pushes me to keep going.
I know it. No, because what you just said, because actually this just happened to me a couple of days ago. I once a week I check my DMs that go to like the hidden folder, and I went in there and I had a message from a young lady, and she's like, "Hi, I am new on my entrepreneurship journey, and I was wondering if you." No, she said, "And I have a question for you." So I went to her page, and she's a young lady. She's in college. She plays basketball. And I was like, oh, she's so cute. Okay. Yeah. So I accepted her and I followed her and I left her a voice message. And I was like, hi, thank you for reaching out. What's your question? And she's like, I'm so shocked that you responded back. And I'm like, of course, like, let's talk. And so she's just, talking to me about her entrepreneurship journeys and her struggles and how did I do it. And, we left a couple of exchanges, and I was just like, hey, if you need anything. Reach out to me and we'll get through it. We can jump on a Zoom call. And she's like, this is so crazy. I did not think that you were going to respond. But my whole thing is this. I remember being the young woman starting the Chi Quita Mack and reaching out to people that look like us. Yeah. And they did not respond to me. And those that did respond were not very nice. And I hated the way that made me feel.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care who it is. If you reach out, girl, who did your website? Well, now I can do them for y'all. I got you. But at that time, I was like, I know who can do the website. Get this person. Let me reach out to them and let them know you're going to reach out. I get no commission from that, but I'm going to tell you. Yeah. You know, how did you set this up? Let me tell you how I did it. Why? Because your path is completely different than my path.
Your calling
there is no competition. My niche is so down that why would I not help you? Yeah. Why would I not ensure that you're the best that you can be in your niche? Why would I not support you? And I think that us women, us African American women, we have to get better at not seeing the competition, but seeing the power and collaboration. We are going so far. We all connect. We all do different things and we get in one room. What? Do you know the power that's in that room? You know, and that's what it's all about. So I think that you're absolutely right. We have to learn how to take care of one another and support one another as we're on our journeys. One thing I find interesting, you just came from Georgia. I'm from Georgia, but I've interviewed women all over the world, and our stories are so similar. And connects us together. So there's no need for us to be against each other when we all have similarities in the things that we're going through. So
I'm a firm believer in that, and I tell anybody whatever you need from me. And it's so crazy you say the young girl call you. She saw something on your page that she needed the help from. You know what I'm saying? It's also how you represent yourself. You know, your brand. Some people, if they. How you put yourself makes it easier for a person to reach out to you, you know. But it only takes that one person. You can reach out to 20 people, but as long as God give you that one yes, that's all you need is that one yes. So, and you're gonna get all the no's, all the no response, no nothing. But hey, don't let that stop you. You know, I've had so many no's, like myself too. I had so many no calls, and I've had helped so many people that now they appear, you would think I reached out, nothing. Like, I'm like, wow, I was like, when you was starting from the ground up, I was there with you. Yeah. But that motivates me. You know, I'm not jealous. I'm not but that makes me go harder than I did yesterday. Yeah. You know, because if you can do what I can do with 3 times, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like I said, what's meant for me is for me. What's meant for the next person, I'm like, so I never hate. I never like compete, because I'm like, we're in 2 different niches, you know what I'm saying? Like different categories. Yeah. So even if we were in the same categories, like that's when the collaboration should happen. Like we can be stronger together than apart. So, but God never fails us. Like I said, like he'll put you in the right room. He'll connect you with the right people.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. I want to thank you for being a part of my journey and being a part of my podcast today. Yes. You have been absolutely amazing. Your story, absolutely inspiring. And I know that you have changed someone's life that's listening today. Can you let the audience know where they can find you and connect with you and be a part of your world?
Oh my God. I want you guys to be a part of my world, okay? Again, I'm Tamara Charles. I am on Instagram and Facebook. Those are the 2 I do right now. As I'm on both platforms as Dr. Tamara Charles. And you guys can DM me, friend request me, whatever I can help, support with your business, whatever I can do to help. I am always willing to be a service to whoever that needs my help. Because I believe in supporting women, other women, and I know what it's like to start from the bottom, to work my way where I am now. So reach out to me. Let's connect. Let's grow together. Let's collaborate. Let's loving on each other. Like, it's time. So yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Dr. Tamara Charles. So please, whatever I can help, assist, answer, whatever it may be, just reach out. Thank you so much.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, if you are listening to this wherever you stream your podcast, make sure to leave a review. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. All right, you guys, until next time.